Hello everyone. I hope you are all doing well in this corona pandemic situation. So all of you stay home and stay safe. Also study well for your upcoming examinations. At the same time, you have to listen the online classes of your even semesters. So before the commencement of semester examinations, as per the instructions of Board of the Technical Examinations, we are going to conduct the online classes for you. So in your sixth semester curriculum, you have 3 theory subjects. First one is Industrial Automation Theory, and second one is Embedded Systems Theory, and third one is Medical Electronics Theory subject. So Medical Electronics is an elective subject you have to study in this sixth semester. And along with these 3 theory subjects, you have to study 2 practical subjects, in which first one is Industrial Automation Lab related to the Industrial Automation Theory, and second one is Verilog Lab. So along with these 5 subjects, you are going to study one more subject called Academic Project. Okay. So these are the subjects you are going to study in your final semester diploma. So in this semester, I'm going to handle the subject Industrial Automation Theory and also Industrial Automation Lab for you. So I'm going to brief you about the theory Industrial Automation today. So here Industrial Automation, as usual, this theory subject contains totally 6 units. Unit number 1 is Power Electronic Devices. This unit carries 30 marks in your end semester examinations. And unit number 2 is Triggering and Commutation of SCR, which carries 20 marks. And unit number 3 is Choppers, Inverters and Cycloconverters, which carries 30 marks. And unit number 4 is Applications of Thyristors, which carries 20 marks. And unit number 5 is Programmable Logic Controllers, which carries 25 marks. And unit number 6 is DCS and SCADA Systems, which carries 20 marks. So DCS stands for Data Control System here, and SCADA, SCADA stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition System. Okay. So this Industrial Automation subject is the combination of both the power electronics as well as PLC. So here we can observe that unit number 1, 2, 3, 4, that is 1 through 4 is a part of power electronics. Okay. And unit numbers 5 and 6 comes under PLC, Programmable Logic Controller. So it is a combination of power electronics as well as PLC, Programmable Logic Controllers. Okay. So this, as usual, this unit carries totally 145 marks. So so these are the references, that is reference textbooks. You can go through this. So okay, and now let's see what is an industrial automation. So what is the role of industrial automation? So what is the necessity of studying this subject as one of the subjects in your curriculum? Okay. So industrial automation. So automation means automatically performing the operations is called automations. Okay. Manual means performing manually with the help of manpower. Okay. So automation means performing the operations of the machineries and other equipments without human intervention. Okay. Andre manpower ildane automatic agi number of machines or any other devices work ಆದರೆ automatic ಆಗಿ, that is called automation. ಅದೇ ತರ manual means human intervention, human power in the manpower in the work, that is called manual. So industrial automation means in an industry means it may consist of number of machineries. Okay, number of machineries to generate a particular product, right? So in that industry, if all the machines are work together to produce a particular product without human intervention, means that is called industrial automation. Okay, so here industrial automation is the use of control systems such as computers or robots and information technologies for handling different processes in an industries and also machineries in an industry to replace a human being. Okay, so automation describes a wide range of technologies that reduce human intervention in processes. So human intervention is reduced by predetermining decision criteria, sub-process relationships and related actions, and embodying, that is interrupting or using those predeterminations in machines. Okay. So we may observe the automations in many fields. Okay. So automation includes the use of various control systems for operating equipment such as machineries and the process of factories, boilers and heat treating ovens, switching on telephone networks, steering and stabilization of ships, aircraft and other applications and vehicles with reduced human intervention. Okay. So in this image you may observe that this is an example for industrial automation. Okay. So here in this industry is having number of machineries to produce a particular product, right? So here these machines can work accordingly without any human intervention. That is called industrial automation. Okay. So in an industry, the number of machines and equipments works without human intervention. That is work without human power or manpower is called can be considered as industrial automation. Okay. So as I told, this is the combination of this subject is the combination of power electronics as well as PLC. Now let's see what is the role of the combination of power electronics as well as PLC in an industrial automation. Okay. So in an industrial automation is to establish an automation in an industry means we must require power electronics as well as PLC. Okay. So power electronics means here if you want to provide a power supply to the particular machine means, so without power supply the machine cannot work, right? So if you provide a particular power supply, it may be AC supply or DC supply. So based on the operation of the or input requirement of the particular machine, we can supply AC or DC supply to the particular machine, right? So here for the particular machine we have to provide power supply, it may be AC or DC supply. Okay. For that we must require some power systems, power electronic systems, right? So for that power electronic systems, so to control the power we must require some components, that is called semiconductor devices such as what we call SCR, diode, triode, transistors and so on. So with the help of these semiconductor devices we can control the power in a power electronic systems. So then what are those power electronic systems? So power electronic systems are nothing but there are 4 types of power electronic systems, right? So those are all. First one is, for example, if the machine requires only DC supply means we make use of rectifier, right? So rectifier means it is a AC to DC converter. Okay. So if the machine requires only AC supply, it doesn't require any DC means we must require the AC power supply. That means if the power is connected from AC to DC to AC is called inverter. Okay. If the device requires only DC supply, that is if you provide a required amount of DC supply, then we go for the chopper. Chopper is a DC to DC converter. And the fourth one is, AC to AC converter. This is called cycle converter. So this is useful for providing a particular AC supply or AC power to the particular device. Okay. So in this subject, the very first unit is power electronic devices. So in this power electronic devices, you are going to study some of the semiconductor devices as you studied earlier in the subject named SCD in second semester. Okay, so in a semiconductor devices subject, you have already studied the VI characteristics of all these subjects such as BJT, IGBT, MOSFET, SCR, DIAC, DRAC, and so on. Again, the same topics will be repeated in this unit number 1, that is unit number 1 in power electronic devices. Again, you are going to study the characteristics of these components, semiconductor devices such as BJT, IGBT, MOSFET, SCR, DIAC, and TRACs, and so on. Okay, and here unit number 2 is the triggering and computation of SCR. So here we mentioned SCR only the out of those subjects, that is IGBT. We have so many components, so many semiconductor devices like SCR, DIAC, TRAC, transistor, and so on. So out of those things, we have mentioned here SCR, only the SCR component in unit number 2, because here SCR is the only switching device. We are going to use the switching device in a different power electronic converters such as rectifiers, inverters, and choppers, and cyclic converters for the switching purposes, to convert AC to DC, or DC to AC, or DC to DC, or AC to DC. So we make use of the SCR as a switching device in these power electronic systems. Okay, so SCR is the only essential component which is used in all these different power electronic systems. So here we are going to study the triggering and computation of SCR in unit number 2. So triggering means to turn on the SCR, and computation means to turn off the SCR. So in this unit we are going to study the different turn on and turn off methods of the SCR. Okay, so here we preferred SCR because SCR is the main component which is used in the different power electronic converters such as rectifiers, inverters, choppers, and cyclo converters. Okay. Next we move on to unit number 3, that is choppers, inverters, and cyclo converters. So here, as I told, these are the different power electronic systems, or what we call power electronic converters. We make use of these power electronic converter to provide a power supply to the machineries which are involved in the industry. Right. So next one is unit number 4 is the applications of thyristors. So in this unit you have to study some of the applications of thyristor family. Thyristors means, so SCR comes under the thyristor family. Okay. Next one is unit number 5. Unit number 5 is the PLC, and unit number 6 one is DCS and SCADA system. So as I told earlier, unit number 1, 2, 3, and 4 comes under power electronics part. So power electronics part means you are going to study the different types of semiconductor devices, and those semiconductor devices are used in a different power electronic systems such as rectifiers, inverters, choppers, and cyclic converters. So those power electronic systems or power electronic converters are useful to provide the particular or required power supply to the particular machines in an industry, right? Next one is unit number 5 and 6 are the PLC parts. So here, not only the power supply is sufficient to run the machine. Okay. So if you provide power supply means a machine will work, but so if you want, for example, if you provide a particular time delay for the particular machine means it requires a program, right? So according to the program what we have written, the machines will be works, right? So here in industrial automation we are using the program called PLC. So programmable logic controller is a programming which is used in an industrial automation for the purpose of controlling the number of machines which are involved in a production of the particular product in an industry. Okay. So next, unit number 6 is the DCS and SCADA system. So DCS is the data control system and SCADA is the supervisory control and a data acquisition system. So these are the different control systems in an industry. So you are going to study all the data control systems and SCADA systems in unit number 6. Okay. So now let's start unit number 1. So in this unit number 1, you are going to study the different power electronic components such as BJT, IGBT, MOSFET, SCR, DAC and DRAC. So you are going to study the definitions and working of these components. Along with this, you are going to study the structure, that is the structure of those components, and also VI characteristics of those components. Along with this, you must study about the applications of those different components, and also uses of those components. Okay, next one is the control rectifier. Second topic is control rectifier in this topic. So as we discussed earlier, rectifier is a power electronic system which converts AC to DC. Okay, so in unit number 1, you are going to study the rectifiers, and unit number 3 shows that choppers, inverters and cycloconverters. So there are 4 types of power electronic converters. First one is rectifiers. We are going to study those rectifiers in the unit number 1, and unit number 3 carries choppers, inverters and cycloconverters. Okay. So here, introduction to the power electronics. Okay. So power electronics, so it is a branch of electrical and electronics engineering. It deals with the conversion of one form of electrical energy into another form of electrical energy. So that means it may convert AC to DC, or DC to AC, or AC to AC, or DC to DC. That means it converts the one form of electrical energy into another form of electrical energy, and also it deals with the control of electrical energy, not only conversion. Along with this conversion, also it also control the electrical energy which is required for the machines which are used in the industry. Okay, hence it is also called as a branch of electrical and electronics engineering which deals with the study of conversion and control of electrical energy. So examples of these power electronic devices are nothing but rectifiers. So rectifier is one of the power electronic device, okay, which converts AC to DC, and also it controls the output electrical energy to provide a particular electrical energy to the particular machine as per its requirement. Okay. So these are the different types of power electronic systems here. So first one is AC to DC converter, that is called a rectifier, and second one is DC to AC converter, that is inverter, and third one is a DC to DC converter, that is called chopper, and fourth one is AC to AC converter, it is also called as a cyclo converter. Okay, so we will discuss the applications and also advantages of the power electronic systems in the next class. So I'm going to stop today's class here.